Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, CEO of Academia.edu, and today we're diving deep into the academic world. We're taking a closer look at a fascinating paper authored by Angelo Augusto Peltier Loureiro Freire, exploring a topic that's not just thought-provoking, but also deeply significant in both theoretical and practical realms, how we understand, well, human interactions, morality, and ethics. So grab a cup of coffee or whatever beverage you prefer, and let's jump right into it. The core question we're examining is, how do we define and understand the concept of goodwill in moral philosophy? And more specifically, how does this concept play out in the philosophical musings of Immanuel Kant? This might make you go, why does it matter? But it does, because the way we define good has ramifications that ripple through every ethical decision we make, both individually and as societies. Freire's paper tackles this philosophical heavyweight by dissecting Kant's groundwork for the metaphysics of morals, a work that kick-started a tidal wave of ethical consideration for centuries. Kant kicks off his philosophical journey by asserting that the only thing that can be considered good without limitation is, quote, goodwill, not talents, temperament, or even fortune. These might seem good, but can become extremely bad or harmful under the wrong conditions. It's a bit like how your favorite dessert might be fantastic when shared with friends, but could be a nightmare if you're lactose intolerant at a dairy festival, right? At the heart of Kant's theory is the notion that goodwill, acting out of duty for duty's sake, is the sole source of moral value. It's not just about following the rules or being socially polite, it's about doing what is right, because it is right, and this is what gives actions their moral worth, despite how it might sometimes feel like following duty doesn't always align with our immediate desires or interests. Now, Kant has this idea called maxims, which are like these subjective rules we use to guide our actions. He introduces the categorical imperative as a kind of ultimate litmus test for these maxims, asking, could this maxim, this guiding principle, be a universal law that everyone else could follow? It's like asking, would I want everyone to drive through stop signs just because they're in a hurry, or am I just hoping to sneak through because I'm late for a meeting? Freire explains these concepts with analytical and synthetic methods. Let's not get too bogged down by jargon here. Essentially, analytical is reducing something to its core, while synthetic is building up from foundational ideas. Kant explores these through types of judgments which help him frame how moral reasoning ought to be structured. Then Kant kind of blows the lid off with the idea of hypothetical and categorical imperatives. Hypothetical imperatives are, if-then situations, like if I want to be healthy, I should exercise. But the categorical imperative is the gold standard of morality. It doesn't waver or shift based on circumstances. It's the rule of rules. Act only according to that maxim, which you can, at the same time, will that it should become a universal law. This is where we get to the tangible insight Freire wants us to walk away with. Kant's ethical framework is a methodology for evaluating moral actions, not on consequences, but on principles. Think about that. It's challenging us to align our decisions with values that we'd endorse universally, not just for personal gain. Now, Freire's paper isn't making a case that Kant is the definitive guru of all moral quandaries. It's more of an exploration, offering us a lens, a way to see how these ideas might intersect with our lives and the ethical choices we encounter. And we see Kant pop up again. In debates about AI ethics and policy making, or even just how we treat one another on a day-to-day basis, right? And speaking of ethics, sometimes I find myself thinking about, say, the way we make decisions about the kind of legacy we leave behind. You ever think, what are we trying to pass on beyond technological advancements and societal constructs? Maybe it's just how to be good to each other. Anyway, wrapping up our journey, the key takeaway here is this. Freire's dive into Kant through this paper isn't about dictating how we should think, but rather opening doors to a deeper exploration of moral philosophy, like refined tools for the toolkit of ethics. Academia doesn't hand us the truth on a silver platter. It gives us the means to probe, question, and understand the truth better and live it authentically. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of In Depth with Academia. Remember, research offers us rich insights, not ultimatums. I'm Richard Price, and I hope you enjoyed our exploration as much as I did. Until next time, keep questioning the world and thinking critically. Thanks for tuning in.